Thanks for tuning in on this Thursday evening. We're going to get in some Tennessee transfer portal baseball news tonight, some updates as to where Tennessee's at with some targets, target that popped up last night. And a lot of people's been really excited about this one as well. But make sure you hit the like. Like I always say, one of the biggest things you can do to help out is share out the content. That's word of mouth. If you like the content, somebody else may like the content, et cetera, along the way. And hit that subscribe button as well. Approaching 4,100, slowed up a little bit after the spring football portal, but, hopefully things will pick up now on that. It is free. If you like the content, hit that subscribe button. But Pete Nakos on 3 Sports put out an update today talking about Tennessee, where they're at, the transfer portal. And this Tony Vitello, I've not listened to the interview yet. He was on with Tony Vitello yesterday, and a lot of people really praised that interview and said it was really he seemed like a man on a mission, to say the least, with it in terms of where they're at. And, one of the biggest things, sometimes maybe it stinks not to get to Omaha, but sometimes the silver lining is, well, that gives you that time to get these guys to campus and to reload. And it seems like there is a very focused Tony Vitello right now. And I've seen some of the quotes. He said he's not slept well since this past weekend. He's going out trying to fix things. So now, where is he going? I've had updates all week. Anything I've caught, I've tried to pass it along. Eric Kane, ballquest.com, put out an article last night. I don't know if he broke this, but I'm going on Kane. It could have been Mike Wilson, Ben McKee, Ryan Shumpert, Shumpert. Could have been, one of those guys. But Eric Kane, ballquest.com, had an article last night where Tennessee is pursuing Cal infielder Jaron Advincula. All right. So this dude, he's played second base for Cal. Now, I've seen this one really praised for it. It says he come off, he was second team all ACC, 342, 6 home runs, 33 RBIs, over 55 games, 13 stolen bases, led Cal in hits. Just his numbers, doubles, at bats, stolen bases, multi-game hits, 3. He was Cal's man this year. He was second in batting average on the team, third on base percentage along the way. So, and, something that stood out to me as well is last summer he played in the Cape Cod League. He led the Cape Cod League in hits last summer as well. That, in terms of summer ball, where these guys, when they branch off and go, the Cape Cod Leagues where the best go to play. All right, not saying that, these other leagues don't have talent. They do. The Appalachian League's loaded with talent, too. Cape Cod is normally where your upper echelon guys go to play. So with Advincula, and Nako said today that, the quote keeps coming out. Tony Vitello said Sunday, he said, got to go get guys. You always want to recruit better. So that's what's going to go on this summer. They're not wasting time on this. Advincula is supposed to be visiting today. And according to Nakos, he said the Vols are well positioned to close out the recruitment. What I'm noticing here with Tennessee, I'm noticing a shift in philosophy with hitting. Pitching wise, you're getting some diversity basically in terms of what they. The other term on my mind, I've used it more this week. It's slipping me, but you're getting different looks with Brady Frederick. You've got Braden Krenzel, Dylan Loy. You bring in Bo Rudy out of the portal. If you were to get Edmondson from UNC Asheville, he's another side armor as well. I mean, Frederick is pretty much submarine. He's not far off from submarine on it. And then you get into, if some of these other guys get here as well, they're getting a different look, basically. Tennessee baseball this year was pretty much relied on the home run. It was pretty much home run or nothing with this team. The national championship team could put hits together a little bit better. This team, though, how many times did they just not come through in those situations where you just needed a base hit or something? I thought it was a lot of times with it. All these dudes are targeting right now that we're seeing. this guy right here that we're talking about from Cal, Advincula, talking about Aiden from Seton Hall. Another guy I'm getting ready to talk about, Bowling Green catcher Garrett Wright. I talked about him a couple nights ago on it. I'll link that video again at the end. But he's in the portal this past season. He hit 406, 8 home runs, 48 RBIs. He's a top-notch catcher as well. We're not seeing these dudes with 17, 18, 19, 20 or beyond home runs. Most of these guys, the common thing with them is high batting average, hits, doubles, stolen bases. I don't have a problem with it. And, you got to think, too, you get into a Tennessee strength and conditioning program with Coach Eberhardt. He's been with Vitello. He went to the Cubs. He came back. I've heard nothing but good things with it. And, former players that have gotten drafted, gone on, have really sung the praises of the program. If you want to develop, you'll come to Tennessee to develop. That's what we're looking at here. There's nothing to say these guys who are, in that 5 to 10 home run range couldn't improve and get up to double digits. You don't necessarily have to have 30 home run guys. I mean, I think the 2024 was the exception rather than the norm. I mean, 2022 had a lot as well. 24 was better, though, obviously, in that regard. But I like the approach they're going. So, I still think, too, I think most of our main guys are good. I really do. Will we see some portal additions from Tennessee? Yes. I'm surprised we've not seen any more yet, to be honest with you. And I don't have names. I mean, I've heard a couple, but I'm not throwing them out there. I'm just not. If they enter, then so be it. And if they're good enough, hopefully they'll stick around and fight for it. But, again, there was the Brashera from Stanford that was mentioned. I've not seen anything else. He was a shortstop from Stanford. And I wondered on that 1 or 2 home runs, but still, he was, close to 350 hitter at Stanford. So it's showing me that this team is prioritizing getting the runs in over hitting bombs next year. I think it's an interesting approach, and I think it's a different approach as well. And, something I'm noticing too is most of these guys they're recruiting, their defensive fielding percentages are really high. Don't think that's a coincidence based on what we just saw this past season. And each of the catchers, I mentioned Jake Weatherspoon earlier this week, Indian River College. His catching was elite, and he was hitting around 350 on the year. Not a lot of home runs, but he was committed to Virginia. I've not seen anything else on him, and it was believed that he either visited or was going to visit this week. Now, I said I was going to mention Garrett Wright. It says he's entered the portal with a do not contact tag. This is according to Pete Nakos, and he said that sources have told On3 that Tennessee is the school to watch. 2025 MAC Defensive Player of the Year. I mentioned he hit 406, 48 RBIs, 8 home runs. Said he in his career, in 2 years, he has only committed 7 errors, and he's registered 32 extra base hits. So that, again, they're prioritizing defense. And, somebody I spoke with the other night, we talked about it, and he said, we need a catcher. And I was like, yeah, we could use one that really kind of at that time was not on the top of my priority list. But now that I'm seeing it, the more I've thought about it, we've got to help our pitchers out as well. And this was nothing against Peebles or Lawless. I thought they did good jobs this year. But I do think the pass balls were a bit much this year. We have to solidify that as well. We've got to step up and do something about the stolen base. And I think part of that's on the pitcher. I think a big part of it was on the pitcher. But I like what they're targeting here as well. And again, who's to say guys can't take a jump in home runs? Now, do I expect Garrett Wright to go from the MAC conference, hit 408, and come to the SEC and hit 400? No, I don't. I mean, we've seen Cannon Peebles, Billy Amick, these big numbers. Billy Amick hit over 400 for Clemson his sophomore year. Still had a good year, really good year for Tennessee, but he wasn't close to 400 during that time either. Looking as well, that's where we're at. Pitchers this week, of course, they got the Brady Frederick commitment, which gave them their 4th of the portal. All portal commitments are pitchers at this point, but they had Rutgers pitcher Landon Mack, I talked about him, or some of the scouting I said he is somebody's future ace. And apparently Vitello alluded to him on the Basilio interview and said, if we get a guy like this, the only way we'll get stopped is if we stop ourselves. So Tennessee wants him, but based on what I've seen, he may be taking more visits. So if you get out of campus and you're a transfer, not committed, who's to say what's to come on it? Because Tennessee's been after guys over the last few years, saying they were good on, they went somewhere else, and the money was a lot for them to turn down, too much for them to turn down along the way. So you hope Tennessee can get in on these guys, and they're going to get their share. This team's going to be really good. Hopefully you kept your base in place, which it seems to be the case right now. We've not heard anything. You do that. You add to it. You add some arms in there. This team's going to be right back where they are. And again, the thing that's interesting to me is it really seems like a change of approach of guys who can, base hit the ball, who can hit the gaps, and who can steal some bases along the way. Yeah, the home run's the sexy thing. But if you're all or nothing, it ain't that freaking sexy to stand up and strike out every time while you're dribbling down your leg. Hit the like, the share, the subscribe. Appreciate you tuning in. I'll keep you updated on anything I run across. Of course, there was the Sakai Ziegler ruling today. I didn't put anything out on it just because I've been saying it the whole time. I don't think it's happening on here. These guys are, based on everything I've read, not getting their fifth year. And it was by no means a surprise to me. It's probably, I don't know if I'd say a waste of money. You got to try it, but it is what it is. Have a great evening. This is Frank, House of Orange. Then I will see you when I see you.